You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie moment for today, Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. I just about forgot that I am hosting with my co-host as my guest, so I had to say all this today. But here we go. I got on it. Just a quick thank you to Pace, the Pace Network and our sponsors, Limestone City, Cambleford Style, Lifestyle, and of course, At-Eze or Bio Thriving. So today I am welcoming my co-host over here as a guest. Steve left and went down to Mexico for 10 days. I think it ended up to be more like 11 or 12 by the time he got down there and got back. And he went down to visit his dear friend and her partner and to partake in some medicine ceremonies. And I got to sit here and watch his pictures. He got to go to my favorite place on earth so far, which is the Tepoztlan in Morales, Mexico. Absolutely beautiful city, town. And he got to explore some areas and do other things as well. I'm kind of stuck on the Tepoztlan thing. I'm not going to lie. I had spelt it incorrectly in the ad, and Lisa corrected me. You won't see her correction because I got embarrassed and I deleted it. But I fixed the name.
Otherwise, you're in a whole different town.
A completely different town in a completely different area of Mexico. And I don't know if that Tepoztlan is just as amazing as this one is or not, but I want to send you to the right one if you want to go.
And I have to agree, it was pretty amazing.
It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful town. I think my favorite picture that Steve shared is one that he shared later. Was, of course, the Tepoztlan, the colorful Tepoztlan in the center square there. What a beautiful area.
And way up in the mountains, way up in behind, there's actually some ruins on there. It was kind of funny because the first day we drove in and we got all ready. We're going to go to the ruins, and we get up there and we get a parking spot, and it's not very busy. And we get ready and we're hiking up. It's not very busy. And we get part way up, and Lisa asks somebody, how come it's not very busy? And they go, oh, because it's closed on Monday and Tuesdays. So we just went down and, had a nice little lunch, and then headed down around the town and then off to find our amazing little place that we got to stay in.
So I am just backing up a little bit, and then I'm going to add these to stage. Yeah. And I'm gonna let you talk, and you tell me when you want me to click to the next one. How's that?
This in here, we can't zoom, but if we could zoom in, the plaque underneath there, this is the thing for Tepoztlan. It's the when you come into the city, they've got their little setup done. And this is the one for Tepoztlan. And as we were coming in, it was like, oh, wait, I got to get this shot. So it was kind of in the drive-by. What's the next one you got in? Because I can't see what I.
Well, that's okay. I'll just keep going. And we've got some of the graffiti here.
Yeah, I love to take. I love the art that's painted around down there, and there's just so much of it. And one of the things I love to do is just walk around the towns that I go into and find the paintings that are on the walls and take some shots of them, because they're, like with the guy standing there, you get a reference as to how big that wall actually is. And it's just amazing when you, because these are all, and this right here, I've stepped just outside of my bedroom door onto the balcony area to take a shot of this. Is I think there's another one that I take that's literally right outside my, there we go. That one's right outside my window. So if I open the curtains and I lay back in my bed, boink, this is what I saw, which was a heck of a way to wake up. And at night, the sky's just so full of stars that it's a heck of a way to crash out as well. So yeah, we had the little swimming pool, and it was.
Oh, there's the view of the window. This is what you look at through the window.
When I'm on the bed, because I went, I got to get one from laying on the bed. So I snapped the shot of, yeah, pretty amazing.
This is one of the main streets in Tepoztlan with a beautiful view. I know this well. I've walked this street many times, and I love that I can say that. And I love that the way, I assume it was Lisa that took the picture.
Oh,
and
yeah.
See
actually,
the light.
She was like, no, this is a place where you got to get the picture. This is a. She's totally right. She's like, okay, get out there in the road. Okay, get all ready.
But the way the light is reflecting off, I assume a window there in the back is just so amazing.
And then way up at the top of the mountain in the back there is where the ruins are. So it's pretty, that I call that the record album cover. That's, if I was going to put out a record album, this would be the cover for the record.
There's a waterfall back up there somewhere as well.
Amazingly enough, we never did get back to go up to the ruins. We probably could have, but we went to so many other cool places anyway. Like we just hiked up into the woods. Yeah, this is one of my my night shots. If you can see the highlight of the trees, etc. This is from sitting down below my balcony, but the stars in the sky and the way things just light up, absolutely amazing. So yeah, I posted some of the shots are just to make some of my friends jealous because they kind of was sucking up in Canada.
Yeah, especially those of us on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, you guys were having a bit of a snowstorm, so I figured I would graciously share some sun with you and make you guys feel a lot better.
Well, straight up, for me anyway, I don't know about anybody else here on the East Coast, because I know a few of us. For me, it brought back memories of sitting in Tepoztlan in 2024 and, walking those streets and going to those shops and those cafes and everything that you pictured. I'm like, oh, I was there. Oh, I was there. Oh, I was there. And I could almost feel it, except for when I was there, we were in between two hurricanes. So I didn't get to see the sun.
Well, we weren't, so and massive shout out to Lisa and Dennis. This is a soccer field, football field in Mexico, but up here we'd call it soccer. And this is up in the top, like way up in the mountains, and I'm so happy she grabbed this shot because I'm sitting in the center of the field, but there's actually a stage, like a bleacher set up there, not a stage, but bleacher set up and whatnot for people to, watch the game. And you can see off in front of me there, the weird kind of fence area. Well, there's horses on the other side there. There's cows on the other side there, but it's like a little amphitheater. Like I looked at it, went, oh, this would be a great place to have a little gig because there's just beautiful peaks all around it. But you're at the top. It's Let's see if there's another one. I can't remember what I posted in there. Oh, that was me and my buddy Alex. You can go back to there. Alex, I met when we were down. This was, Lisa got me this for Christmas, this little vacation trip here for Christmas, because it was the anniversary of the time we were down there 5 years ago. And Alex was one of the gentlemen that I met when I was down there 5 years ago. So him and I went through a few ayahuasca journeys together, and it was awesome to meet up. This was in the little, oh, you'll see on the table down there, you'll see that little bottle of maple syrup brought all the way from Canada. So I kind of had to gift that out.
Nice. Nice.
And then, you know, when you walk by the churches, some of the churches are amazing when you look at just the structure of the church. But, you know, I zoomed in and had to walk up and get a shot of like the inside of the church, because they're, you know, if you look at the size of the Christ on the cross in there, and you look at the size of the table, it's almost bigger than life size aspect of things. And yeah, it's just amazing to go by and see the history that's in them and what they've got going on and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything is so amazing down there, including the cars, right?
Yes.
And there you are.
This is in the Sierra Madre Mountains, and we're on our way to Huatla de Jimenez, because we set up to do a little ceremony with a traditional Mazatec family. And I'll bring it, see if I can make this picture happen.
Okay, just a second. Let me do this. And then let me do this, but just a second.
It might.
Let me go back to here, and I'm going to change us.
Dim the light.
And then do this. That way it's just you up there.
Okay.
Conscious
So Lisa was reading this book, Conscious Medicine by Francois Borzat. And in that book, Francois, it was the book is Indigenous Wisdom, Entheogens, and Expanded States of Consciousness for Healing and Growth. And she worked with an indigenous healer in Huatla de Jimenez for helping people heal from PTSD and various things. And everybody knows of Maria Sabina, or most people know of Maria Sabina, who is from there and in the Mazatec mountains, that introduced magic mushrooms to the Western world. And there was other families that also did that work, and they some of them weren't so happy about how popular it became because of Maria Sabina's work. We went to one of the other families that was a different lineage. We didn't go to Maria Sabina's on this one. We did, the last time we were there, we did mushrooms with her nephew up in the mountains. But this one was lined up through Francois. And Lisa reached out to her and said, hey, I've been reading this book, and we're here in Mexico, and this is what we'd like to do. And so she set us up through Dona Julia Julieta Casimiro Pineda. She was known as Abuelo Julieta, and she was a revered curandero. She passed away, I believe, in 2018. But her family lineage has continued on doing the ceremonies. So we were lined up to go and do ceremonies with the daughter Lulu. And originally, I thought we were going in to do a traditional Mazatec ceremony, and I thought this even as we got back. And what I've learned is there's traditional Mazatec before the Spanish arrive, and there's traditional Mazatec after the Spanish arrive. And we are doing a ceremony that's after the Spanish arrive, which is I learned why this particular ceremony is quite downplayed. The original Mazatec ceremony aspect, the curandero, was more of a psychic surgeon and worked with the people way more hands-on. But because of what happened with the Spanish, and you had to become Christian, and if you wanted to keep the mushrooms, you had to make them a certain way so that, you know, Christianity had to be a part of the ceremony. And this ceremony, when we went up into the mountains, is there any other shots from the mountains there? Do we have any other shots?
Sure, let's bring this back
because
up.
this was the journey going up there, and I'm pretty excited. Oh, this shot here, this is a plant that's growing on a branch on a tree on the side of the mountain, where the tree barely looks like it's surviving, and yet this plant just they I guess drift down and they land on different trees and they just start growing. I think there's a further shot, I think, if you click it again. Yeah, so that's where it is on that tree in there, kind of right in the center, which I found amazing. This is obviously my first cacao that I'm having up in the mountains in Huautla de Jimenez.
Beautiful.
And you know, we're getting ready for the ceremony. I don't know much about these type of ceremonies, but the ceremonies I've done, and you know, most of them, oh, I just love that. Most of them, there's a lot of ceremony in the ceremony.
Yeah.
And what I found with this ceremony was there was a lot of intent. And for me, my intent in this, I've been suffering from some concussion syndromes and just, you know, brain looping and whatnot. So my intent was, you know, heal the brain. The science shows that mushrooms heal the brain. All of the history of what I've researched and whatnot says this is going to work. So I go in with the intent of heal the brain. And with the ceremony end, we started about 5 o'clock, and they have a room with an altar, and it's a room all set up, and you know, you do your copal and your cleansing and you know, some prayers and chants, and then you go in and you light your candles, and you know, you give your intent and say any prayers or gratitude or whatever it is you wish to give before you go to receive. And in most ceremonies, you know, you're supposed to sit and hold position type of idea. You know, it's a reverence and a respect. But this one going in, she said, the mushrooms are like your grandmother wanting to hold you and help you heal. So when you feel them come on, lay back on your bed and get in a position that you can be held and comforted and healed. And it was like, okay. And, you know, she did some copal, she did some singing. We had the candles going. She gave us our bowl of mushrooms. And they're just fresh mushrooms. Some of them are really fresh, and some of them are a couple days old. And it's a big bowl of mushrooms. It's been a long time since I ate fresh magic mushrooms. But you know what I found with that, what I did what happened for me was, as I was taking them out, I would look at them, and then, because I'm looking at them, I would give thanks and gratitude for any of the healing that they would do for me. And, and you can't eat them fast because they're not that yummy. So you're slowly taking and you're giving energy into each bit that you're eating. And it was a slow go. I wasn't really monitoring time, so I don't know how long really it took to get them all back, but it was a pretty big bowl of mushrooms. And then, we just kind of sit in our space, and there was only the three of us. And she would sing a few songs. And now it's all Spanish to me. So I don't know any of the words, and I don't know at this point that she's doing some prayers she's doing some Catholic prayers. Now, to me, it's all Spanish. It's just, a flow of energy happening. And after a bit, she asks how we're doing, and it's dark in there except for the candles going, and we were doing okay. And after a bit, the yawns start coming on. You can feel the mushrooms coming on. And she sings a couple songs and does a couple prayers and asks how things are going. We tell her, oh, yeah, we're starting to feel them. Okay, lay back, get comfortable. And then she blows the candles out. So you're in pitch black, which I found interesting because that isn't how anytime I've done pitch black, it's just been me doing it myself, not a ceremony of anybody. So I found that rather interesting. And, I proceeded to get high. I felt them come on. I felt the waves. And I would open my eyes to try and look around, and then close my eyes to see if there was any difference, because there really was no difference. You just couldn't see anything, which made it so there was no reference as to how high I was. There's nothing to judge. There's no color, no melting, no psychedelic. I'm looking at black. And she would sing a couple of songs and then go quiet. And, you'd listen to her singing and your ears would open. And I found that the mushrooms made me very orally tuned. My ears were wide open for sound. And she would sing and she would go quiet, and then you would hear the energy of life happening around. And but because you're in a room, it's quiet. You're straining to hear different stuff. And then she would go quiet for a bit, and then she would ask, "How's everybody doing?" And we would answer, and it almost seemed like not having a trip. Honestly, it almost seemed like there was no real trip happening, because in everything I've done, you notice the high, you notice the strange, you notice the breaking of this reality around you. You understand that there's energies far greater than what we as human have access to or can sense or vibrate in. And with this, you don't have any of that. I would attune it more to how they do a clinical thing where they blindfold you when you're working with a clinician and you do a ceremony, and you stay in your head. You're blindfolded so that you stay in your world rather than the world. You go more into your world. I can't really tell you. When I drifted inwards, I can't even tell you what I was viewing or what went on, because it was when I would come back to the outside world that I'd start cataloging and memorizing. So I actually don't even know when, I know that I would have drifted off and there would have been moments of me, not thinking and analyzing, because 4 hours went by really quick. It's about 4.5 hours went by really quick. And for part of it, when I would come into consciousness, I would wonder, I can feel mushrooms, but am I, that was a lot of mushrooms I ate, but it just doesn't, you don't feel high like, or I didn't feel high like I would normally feel eating a big batch of mushrooms. So it was interesting. Now, Lisa and Dennis both had interesting experiences, and they felt kind of the same way. I know when we first left, Lisa was like, I don't think anything happened. I didn't really, it's, in most ceremonies, you're expecting an experience. And this is so downplayed that it's, if a person is used to a loud, traumatic, loud life, this can be so quiet that you actually miss what's happening. So for me, I came out kind of going, that was an interesting experience. I don't know what to make of it. And, my two compatriots were not really sure what to make of it as well. But what I did notice that very first night, prior to it, I had signs of concussion after the car accident, and I would be talking and there would be words, and I use the word all the time, but it's stuck behind this door and I just can't open the door, but I know the word's there and I can't get it. And I use it all the time, and I would get frustrated that, hey, it should be easier than this. But I recognize that that's signs of concussion. And really all that is you've got damaged pathway, something got damaged, and the data, it's just electrical data on wires and wet sponges, and it can't get through. But the mushrooms have the ability to heal the pathways or create new pathways and heal the damage. Well, that door was wide open and the words were flowing. So I recognized right away that I got healing out of that journey. And I was quite amazed because it was so quiet and subtle. But, in a hindsight view, my healing from PTSD has been learning to hear the softer, more subtle sounds and vibrations of life. People go, your life was so exciting. Yes, it was exciting, but it was never quiet or calm.
No, it was, what you did was loud and busy.
So this experience of quiet and calm is something that is taking me years to get used to, levels of it, because it's just increments. And then it's like, oh, look at this. Oh, look how nice it is when things aren't swirling all around you all the time. So this one, I liked her expression of, it's like a grandmother holding you and helping you heal, because it was very subtle and I could feel them. So I know I was being caressed. I was comfortable in my position, and I found the healing. But here's where the trick comes in, because in my brain, it was like, oh, you just had a concussion, so go ask the mushrooms to heal the concussion. But the words from the mouth were heal my brain, not heal the concussion. And what I learned was there was a few extra things that may possibly have got healed, because since I've come back from that journey, I've had lots of memory triggers happen, because I'm in an environment where I've lived for 30 years and there was traumatic stuff happen through this. And my brain seems to take traumatic things and block them out with big chunks of time. We'll just hide this under here. This one, we'll just stuff it over here. Oh, throw those ones back there. Well, it seems like, some of the damaged pathways and information highways healed up so that a lot of information that I hadn't filed properly or had been looping for years or had been avoided for years all came into context and just flowed. And some of it has been very emotional. Some of the stuff that comes through, I've just broke down in tears, but they're beautiful, happy tears. They are the opposite of the tears I shed when I buried that info. And in seeing the beautiful memories that I'm regifted, through the healing process, I hope that everybody that has suffered trauma has the ability to experience healing.
That's beautiful.
In any way, but hopefully a similar way.
That's beautiful. And that is a great time for me to interrupt and say it is that time for a quick commercial break. It is time to pay the sponsor, so to speak, and show you who helps us keep going here at paceradio.net. You are watching the Mushie Moment live here at paceradio.net, and we will be back in just under 3 minutes.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Cambleford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Cambleford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Cambleford, Ontario.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Re-Rolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Welcome back to the Mushie Moment live here on paceradio.net. I am Rev Cindy, and my usual co-host Steve Mather is my guest for the day. Steve was down in Mexico on vacation and did some healing journeys while he was down there, and he has just been telling us about the mushroom ceremony that he partook in and how it's been helping his brain do some healing.
And it has. It was. I wrote about the journey in my Substack because I just found it so different. Because now with journeys, between ayahuasca journeys and iboga journeys and mushroom journeys and peyote journeys, people have kind of expected a little ceremony, and some of them cross over now. A lot of the stuff that you see in one crosses over to the other, and to go into something with so little ceremony was quite interesting. The next day, actually, click on go through photos here and see if we've got.
I just love the artwork, right? And here's the sign I was talking about earlier, the Tepoztlan sign.
Yes, this was right in kind of the square. And I got in there before it was full of people, which is kind of neat.
Rare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just...
So he's back in Tepoztlan now in these pictures.
I didn't post very many from the other one. Hey, that's too bad.
No, I don't think you did.
Oh, I found a black widow.
Yeah, there
and
she
a tarantula.
Is.
The tarantula was in the pool. So wow, I didn't post. Well, that's okay. Oh, I did post this one just to, so everybody would feel sunny and warm. Yeah. And there was certain ones, like I just found some. I found these amazing to get. It doesn't even look like a picture. Like
no.
The scapes were well,
that's quite the picture.
Like, how can you not be sitting out there? I'm sitting out there with my doobie, and I'm smoking my doobie looking at this. Like, after having done the like the view, it was an incredible place to heal. It really is. It's
Oh yeah. You're not gonna get an argument from me. Tepoztlan is all about healing. The way that the area was explained to me is Tepoztlan is that one place in Mexico, Tepoztlan Morales, where Mexicans go to get away. Like it's that healing and that relaxing. That's their favorite staycation spot. And
when you drive around the different areas there's quite a few. I like that one.
I like that one.
There's quite a few retreats. Like there's a lot of places in the vicinities that have retreats. Which
yes.
It was like, holy cow! But it's the perfect place. The energy there is unreal. You go up into the mountains. Now, I posted this and said I'm never going to complain again. Now I wish we could zoom in, but if you look in the center. There is a guy there on crutches, and he has got that thing hooked up with a rope around his waist, and he is pulling that huge dolly with that huge stack of stuff, and one of his legs is like a warble leg. And he's actually going uphill. It's up a grade. If you click, I think I took 2. If you click the next one, I think it shows him a little further on. Like,
and you can see him, like you can see his crutches in this one, and yeah.
Like, I'm third world probleming while I'm sitting there. honestly, it was a moment of me sharing gratitude, one, for the opportunity to see somebody with that much tenacity and strength. Like, that is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. And to be grateful that it's not me. Be grateful that I'm finding the healing that I am, and that that I get to help people. There's a lot of people struggling. That type of struggle, wow. Wow. You know, I know that up here, when you have people that are carrying their homes on their back, a lot of times it's mental health issues. You know, that
And a
gentleman
lot of the times
got
we shun
physical
them,
issues as well. Yeah. And
right? Yeah.
you know,
And look at this gentleman and everything he's doing.
yeah, mind-blowing to me. And they talked me into getting a haircut. Dennis, this is Dennis's favorite place to get his haircut. And he got it done, and I was watching it happen, and I went, yeah. And the guy does it. He did a great job. I
did.
screwed it up, but he did a great job. Yeah, that was. Oh, and here's my little gecko or lizardy friend that, you know, just came down the tree to hang out.
Yeah, these guys are all over the place. I don't know when I'm going to get to the end.
They blend in because, you know, you slowly don't see them as you zoom back.
Yeah, I see him only because I know where I'm looking, but.
Now, where do we get to? Okay, so that's me leaving. So stop there. And I'm going to take over here. I'm going to go share screen. And I loaded this. So how do I get that? Add to stage. There we go. So again, I wrote in my Substack in there, but I have a couple extra pictures in here. So while, you know, when we left Watla de Jimenez and we came back down into Tepoztlan, Lisa went to go visit a friend of hers. And the friend is married to a gentleman from Brazil that's from a small tribe in the jungle, and they practice Cambo, and they practice Sananga, and they practice Hape, and they practice ayahuasca. And she was going to get a Cambo ceremony done. And she said, well, do you want to come out and hang out? You know, meet my friends. I was like, sure. So we went over there, and hang on, because I've got to go to that other page to scroll. And then this is actually where I wrote about it in my Substack. But there is Lisa. She got her dots down. Is it? I better look and make sure I'm on the StreamYard. It's there. So that is the gentleman there from the tribe. Let me just read it. Her hubby Aka offered to serve some rapé that was from his tribe, and I had no choice but to say yes. His serving was gentle and very grounding. I asked a few questions in conversation, one of which was, what age are they first served Cambo in your tribe? And he said 1. So at 1 year old, you get 1 dot of Cambo, and it's known as the vaccine of the forest is what it's known as. And they get that until they turn 8, and then they get 2 dots. And then I kind of, you know, I went, well, you guys do ayahuasca. What age are you introduced to ayahuasca? And he said at 15. That's his, you know, first time that he did it. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know, what are the chances of doing some ceremonies with a gentleman that is actually from the tribe? Like, even I did the Hape. It was I have some Hape that's from his tribe already. So going in and having the opportunity to do this, obviously I had to say yes.
Obviously.
Because, and this was not on the radar at all. It was, and I wasn't planning on going, or I would have eaten a little differently knowing I was going in.
Yes.
So, and I'm not a stranger to Cambo. It's a massively heavy detoxifier. It gets a lot of impurities out of your system and helps you to purge. And my purging has been pretty minimal in my Cambo journeys. A lot of sweating, but not much else. And I asked him, well, how many would you recommend for me? And he's like, 7. Okay, let's do it. And we were outside, and there was a point where I went, uh-oh, I got to head to the bathroom. So I asked them to give me a hand. And it's funny, in this photo, you can see my tattoo of the Cambo frog on the other arm from when I did Cambo the first time. That's funny. I just noticed that. Anyways, I needed help to get up. I couldn't even stand.
Mm-hmm.
So, they each grabbed a hand, and him and his wife, and they took me into the home. And then I was sitting on the floor looking at him going, what are we doing? And they said, well, you were on your way to the bathroom and you decided you needed to sit down. I said, oh, well, I need to go to the bathroom more than I need to sit down. I don't remember needing to sit down. I just remember looking up and I was sitting down. So I'm not really sure what happened in there, but I definitely I got discombobulated.
It can happen,
and then they took me to the washroom where boy, I wish I'd have eaten differently because I was expelling. I didn't throw up, but boy, I was sure.
You were fully bottom purging.
Oh yeah, it was not fun. And of course, after what seemed like hours, but was probably about 15, 20 minutes, they came around and asked, are you okay? Might have only been 5 minutes. I don't know. It seemed like hours. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm okay. I was just lying through my teeth, sitting there going, whew, this is the most brutal one I've had yet. Whew. And I was sweating like nobody's business because it's purging stuff out of your pores too.
Yep.
And, but more than anything, this was the first one that really affected my brain. And it was right after the healing ceremony with the mushrooms. But it really threw me. There was 3 of the, hey, are you okay? And me lying through my teeth before all of a sudden it was just like a wave. It was, oh. And then goosebumps came on and I realized whatever. I liken it to if you've ever had food poisoning and the moment your body knows that poisoning is out, there's a different vibration that comes over you. And that is what happened. It was like my body went, whatever that toxic crap was you had in, it's out. And it was like, oh, thank you. So at this point, I'd done the Hape and then the Cambo. And then, I get them to help me outside and we're sitting on the mats and it's nice and sunny and Lisa's done her thing there. And then I'm thinking, hey, then you must do Sananga too, right? So I asked, oh, do you do Sananga too? Now there's an English barrier happening. And And he just hears Sananga and goes, "Oh, Sananga," and gets up and runs and gets it. Now, it wasn't that I was asking because I wanted to do it.
He was curious.
Because I was curious, but he showed up with it. And then again, what are the odds that you're going to get the opportunity? So I have to say it was the least obtrusive. It was the least negative experience of Sananga that I've had.
Your cataracts are gone.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was not a bad, it was, yeah. I was like, hey, this is good. So let me go, where am I here on the add to stage thing? Oops. And then I need to go to, I'm getting lost. So I need to go down here because I know. And then the one thing I did put in here is my favorite photo.
This is a great photo.
Now, this photo is actually Watla de Jimenez. And Lisa came up behind me. I would sit up here. This is on the roof of their house. And behind us is a church. So there's not more houses, or sorry, a school. And they had the bell up. I keep thinking church because of the bell. But there was a school in the bell. So it's quiet all up in there. And this is out looking over the Sierra Madre Mountains. And during the day, the view just goes forever down that where those lights are to my right. But it was my favorite place. I would just come sit up there and I would smoke my doobie. And you're in binaural beat, heaven. There's so much stuff, noise between critters and bugs and birds and people and just everything. It was just, I'm really, really, thank you, Lisa, for capturing actually this and the Tepoztlan picture, because you nailed my favorite moments. And
that in the middle of that field. That was a great picture.
Yes.
She got there's quite a few that if we went back through there, there's probably 7 or 8 that she took of you that were pretty amazing. With the scenery in the background and everything, right?
Yeah, I definitely. All I have is a massive. Wow, look at that! Right at the bottom. Thank you. I am blessed. Yes, thank you. I am blessed. It was an amazing healing journey, and it hasn't ended. Just because you do a medicine and you find healing in that moment, or even if you don't find healing in that moment, the healing comes with integration, or more healing comes with integration. And that having a quiet, calm ceremony, well, it makes me appreciate sitting up on the rooftop there in the quiet, in the calm, and just feeling that essence, that level of calm vibration that has so seldomly ever existed in my life. And I so look forward. I used to say, I'm looking for the calm in the chaos. And I thought the chaos was all around me, but I was a part of the chaos. And as I was a part of the mayhem, as I learned to hold space and feel space, healing is really it's changing. It's changing everything that I know about me. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Well, that sounds like an amazing trip, both in just, what you got to see, but what you also got to experience. And you had ended up with 4 medicine ceremonies. 3 of them were clustered together, but 4 medicine ceremonies during the trip. time with friends, time by yourself, a new haircut. And, you came home rested and relaxed to a very excited puppy.
Yes, and the integration since has been, it's just amazing. Feeling is great. And sometimes when you suffer trauma, you teach yourself to minimize your feeling. And, I got to say, embracing some of those subtle waves and the little waves that you just don't let go. That moment when you realize that you're sitting up there just listening to the world and you feel a tear just kind of run down. And you analyze the tear and go, well, that's interesting. Why would that tear happen? And it's because you're graciously and happily experiencing something that's incredibly beautiful, that if your mind was still yapping, you would miss. Yeah. The calm in the chaos, it's hard to get used to.
But once you do, it's pretty beautiful.
A year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, I read a thing where some people don't have the narrator voice in their head. And to me, that just was so foreign and so impossible. And yet lately I'm finding moments where I'm sitting there and then my noticer goes, hey, how come it's so quiet? Because the narrator's just shut up and he's just listening.
He's just chilling with you. He's just observing.
And it's like, wow, it might even be possible to attain it. Nothing's impossible. Yeah.
Well, that takes us to the hour, and what an incredible journey you've shared with us.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
It's an honor. Yeah. So yeah, these trips are possible for you too, not just to Mexico, but the healing trips in Mexico. Between myself and my co-host here, we've met a number of facilitators that live down there. So if you're thinking it's time to start your healing journey, or it's time to continue it in a different way, reach out to us and we can help guide you with different facilitators that we might know down there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you being so open and honest with us and telling us about everything. Thank you for joining us. You have been watching The Mushie Moment here on paceradio.net. And Steve and I will be back with a new show in just 2 weeks. Next week, we have up the Sweet Pea and Mayhem podcast in this time slot. So I hope that you enjoy that when John and Steve join you then. Till then,
join us.
Have a great week. Bye.
See you later.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Cambleford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Cambleford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Cambleford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.